Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy JR Special back here with another video. I'm just trying to do a little bit of a roundup of some few stories that came out this week. Obviously, we had Nintendo NX's release date window revealed officially from Nintendo. That's March 2017, along with the delay of Zelda for Wii U, also for March 2017, so it can be simultaneously released on the Wii U and the NX. That's fine. We've come to terms with that now. That's all gravy. So we're just gonna have to wait. No presence of the NX at E3. That's a, a little bit of a blow. That's hard to swallow, but once again, we'll just have to take it. A teaspoon of sugar, so to speak, to sweeten that hefty bit of blow, but it's okay. Something interesting I saw on Eurogamer's website on Thursday. I'll post the link in the description. It's kind of awkward, but I think it's a really good issue that should be addressed, and then I'm sure Nintendo are looking at, is that PlayStation PSN PlayStation Network, their online store and everything, made more money, I think, over the last year than the whole of Nintendo did combined in the same amount of time. So I was thinking to myself, okay, that's absolutely mental. I mean, to think that it's just the online store alone. But then I thought to myself, and I think it's even mentioned in the article, Sony charges for PlayStation Plus. In England, I think it's £40 a year, £30 or £40 a year. So you put into consideration everybody mostly is gonna get a yearly subscription. That's £40, and they take most of that, if not all of that, I guess. Like a percentage of that directly goes back to Sony. Then they have the huge game library, film and music library, and proceeds from all of that, a section of it goes to them too. Then they have certain games that are only digital exclusives, and you have quite a few of those now. Obviously, a percentage will go to them once again. Then you have their own stuff, which they're also putting out digital and physical, so they're going to make money from that. So when you start, and then all those different considerations, it's not hard to see how PlayStation Network made all of that money. Because I was thinking to myself, oh, how could they have made that much more? PS4 is the best-selling console of this current gen. I mean, it's putting Xbox One to bed, I think, about 2-1 in America, I think. I don't know if that's still the ratio, but at one point it was about 2-1, and let's be honest, the Wii U's not been involved in that race. So Eurogamer making this article saying, "Oh, look, they're making even more money than Nintendo." Really? I mean, we all know this generation that Nintendo were the slowest out of the first out the gate, but they're definitely far behind. I mean, they are climbing Mount Everest right now with this complete reboot of themselves, not just of their console outlook. With the NX coming next year, I'm certain that it's going to be a lot different to the Wii U and even the smallest things, because it needs to be done. Nintendo have to take a new approach, a different way of looking at things, because they can't have history repeat itself or they're out. Like, it's over. I mean, that's not to say they have to do, it's Nintendo, they're not going to do the same things that Sony do with, like, music libraries and film stuff. I mean, no, they've got Netflix, they've got all that kind of stuff on there. They're not going to bother having their own dedicated services that provide those things either, because they are a game company primarily. They don't like Sony, whereas Sony have all these different subsidiaries with different elements, different layers, no, Nintendo don't do that. So initially when I read it, I was like, oh man, Nintendo are getting parred, like they're just getting ripped to shreds. But when you really think about it, it's not wholly surprising considering how well the PS4 has been doing and the amount of things that it's capable of providing. I mean, yeah, come on. So what I think Nintendo need to do with the NX, because obviously that's where everyone's shifting their focus now. There's a lot of different things that they have to do, not should, have to do. They have to make it accessible to the point where I think even if they continue doing free online, which I think is a good idea, it's such a good selling point, they won't lose out money in terms of that little section where you get people to pay online. Because I think, okay, yeah, I do pay for PlayStation Plus, but I get that yearly subscription. I forget about it each year until it comes up again, and I still get annoyed when I do have to pay for it because it's like, oh, grown man, because you have a whole year where you're not paying for it. I'd rather just turn on my NX or whatever it will end up being called and just go, yeah, never have to pay for that, never have to think about it ever. And that's the kind of thing that I think Nintendo definitely can capitalize on once again. Like they did with the Wii U. Don't, because then it shows that you're too close to your competitors in terms of the way that their practices become your own just because it seems to work. I don't think Nintendo need to do that because they have such a great, and they will, which is something I'm going to go into a little bit later. They have such a great first party lineup. They don't need to charge online to make up the difference in terms of game sales if they can get the console that matches it, which is the key. Which follows on to the point where, and I'll post the description in the description. I'll post the link once again. Where one of the main reasons that they've put the NX release date all the way for March next year is to allow enough great first party and second and third party as an extension of that games to be ready for the launch. It is annoying that it doesn't come out this year and it misses that holiday, end of the year period, because that's a very busy financial period and it would have been really good. But it's better to have games that are ready, games that are at their absolute optimum, rather than rushed games that are rubbish and shovelware, and then everyone goes, "Oh, that launch was rubbish because you just brought out a bunch of rubbish games and nobody wants to play them." Whereas next year you come and all these amazing games come and you have choice. No matter what you choose, it's something that A, that suits you, B, is worth paying for, and C, is gonna have that longevity. And then you have the steady stream of games coming out that continues that longevity, where the console's given life constantly because it's never being in a situation where there's a draft like with the Wii U. You have great games come out at the beginning, then absolutely nothing. So you think, well, what do I do in the meantime? Just turn off my Wii U and it gathers dust until the next game comes out. Whereas with the NX, they can completely avoid that by having great games coming out bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. That's the situation I think Nintendo are going to need to be able to tackle. So in terms of this whole, well, it's not an idea, it's a fact that Nintendo made less money than Sony in terms of Sony making so much from PSN. That's fine. To be honest, I have a PlayStation and I've bought a few digital games. So to be honest with you, I'm probably part of the reason they made a whole bag of money. But that's fine. I don't really care, to be completely honest. Here's the difference. They might have made a bunch of money and they might have had a bunch of games on PSN. But primarily, a lot of the games that people are going to be buying online or through PSN are your big games anyway, like your FIFA and COD and stuff like that. And now those games always sell well. So if you're going to have the digital option, you could just buy it straight away. Why wouldn't I take that opportunity? And I think that's where Sony got it right, was being able to have the digital versions come out on the very same day as the physical copy. So you don't have to feel like I'm at a disadvantage here. The only disadvantage is that obviously their games are big, so they take up space on your hard drive. But if you could just do a quick shuffling around, it's all good. So I think as it is right now, Nintendo are probably going to be looking at that and think, okay, it's even a better idea now that we've held off until March for the NX, because that gives us even more time to plot, to make sure everything's going to work smoothly, that we have all the infrastructure, all the games, the launch, the lineup, the marketing system, everything's in place, so that when we do have the opportunity, not even the opportunity, when the time comes for us to release and to be able to unveil it to the world, everything will just go exactly how we want it to, and we'll make the right kinds of impacts and the right kinds of audiences, bring back people that have left, continue to accommodate for people that are already here, I think Nintendo will be completely fine. I think people are worrying because it's like a state of transition, and that is. But the only reason people are worried is because in classic Nintendo fashion, they're being so secretive. We don't know what they're actually doing or what they're planning. So it's kind of like, well, we have to just speculate, and speculate can kind of start making up far-fetched ideas. And when you get far-fetched, you start getting a bit. Well, anyway, we all know how that works. People start to say one thing, and then everyone starts to believe it, and then. Well, anyway, so we'll just have to see what happens in the future. It is coming. It's soon coming. Yeah, it's annoying. We won't get on NX at E3, but I have a feeling Nintendo will show something. We'll say something. And then they'll probably have a direct in like October or something. And then maybe another one again, right just before March. So we'll just have to see what happens. In the meantime, hit me up with that subscribe. Man needs those subscribers, players. Man needs those subscribers, man. Drop me that comment, fam. You let me know what you think about whatever's game related, man. Even if it ain't game related, man, I want to know if it's about comic book stuff. I want to know about that too, man. Let me know your dealio. Hit me up with those comments, man. Share, subscribe, like, all of that beautiful jazzy wazzy thing. And it's your boy, JR Special. You know what I'm gonna say. The man at that silence. Yeah, man at that pause. Player out.